Another snow day, empty room, no way to get in touch with my students. I just wish there was a way that I could contact my students on these days when I'm not with them at school.
Hey,
Jared?
no, it's me, your phone. Down here, you big dummy.
My phone?
Yeah, that's right. You could use me to get in touch with your kids.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to call everybody.
No. I'm capable of many things. That's why they call me a smartphone. You could make PDFs, QR codes, or even tweet your students.
And my students will be able to get access to all my stuff?
Absolutely. They should call me a genius phone. Let's take a look.
Information online with students is to have your own website. When you have your own website, you can dedicate it to different things, but you'll see, like, I have a Twitter feed, and I have a QR code, and I share pictures and information with my students. But sometimes that can be a difficult process in order to make your own website. And so there are easier ways to go about this. One way is to use a wiki. In this case, I'm using Wiki Spaces, and I've set up basic chapters of information for my students that when they click on this, they'll be able to go and get information. The advantage of a wiki is that students can actually contribute to the wiki as well as you making things available on the wiki. So you're going to want to have some place where you can store information. But also you can reach students on their mobile devices by quickly having information given to them. And one of the ways to do that is to take a URL, in this case a longer one, and I can share that. So I've copied my URL link and I can go to some place like bit.ly, and where it says paste a long URL here to shorten, I can type that in, and when I hit return, it will give me a short URL right over here that I can then copy and give to students so that they don't need to remember the long URL. I can even customize that if I want by typing in something short here that students would easily be able to remember. There are all kinds of these types, and Google has one, and if you are using Google Apps for Education at your school, this is also a good way in order to go through. If you type this in, you can actually keep track of these. Got to tell them that you're not a robot, and then you can keep track of these as well. One of the other interesting things is that when you use the Google goo.gul shortener, is that it will automatically give you a QR code which you can copy and paste, print out, hang around your room. One of the ways that you could do this is to make videos or things like that, say how to light a Bunsen burner, and then you can put that right on the cabinet so that when students go there, if they forget how to light that Bunsen burner, they can just use their smartphone in order to get access to that video. I also send tweets out to my students a lot. And so when you look at my Twitter feed, what you'll notice is that there are board notes that are on here. There's text about reminders, videos that students can go through and look at, including YouTube videos, and all kinds of information that students can use to sort of help them remember what's going on in the classroom. And students don't even have to have a Twitter feed in order to follow your Twitter feed. They don't have to have their own Twitter account. They can use something called tweet to text, which is that they would send a text message to 40404, that's 40404, and they would put in follow at, in this case, RLSmithB, the username, and if they do that, every time I tweet, it'll come to them as a text. There are other tools out there that'll do this as well. And then don't forget those QR codes, and if you just Google QR code generator, you'll find all kinds of places that will allow you to type in that Google or that link and then make your QR code. So these are good ways to get your information out to students. I wanted to remind you of one other one, which is that when you have a document like this that might have pictures and things like that, that you can go to File and Print on a Mac, and it'll automatically build in is this little PDF button where you can save the file as a PDF file. If you're on a PC, you can get things like Primo PDF that'll do the same thing, that'll add a printer that prints right to a PDF. And PDFs can be important because that will make sure that students will definitely be able to see it on a smartphone and it will render exactly the way you want it to look. And so those are a few tips for how to get your students to be able to access your content and your materials on their smartphone. Wow. Thanks, Genius Phone. I learned a lot.
You're welcome, Ben. And just remember, you're not the only one who can teach things in this room.
You're right. Looks like I've got some work to do to get in touch with my students.